We continue to follow our breaking news. Just a short time ago, President Trump announcing on Truth Social that he is sending troops to Portland, Oregon to protect ICE facilities. Now, Portland is just the latest Democratic-run city that the president has either sent or threatened to send troops to in his growing crackdown on immigration and on crime.
Federal troops are rolling into Portland right now, and President Trump just authorized military force against domestic terrorists who have been terrorizing this city for years. But here's the crazy part that pushed this whole thing over the edge. Antifa just torched the rapper Ice Cube's tour van because they thought it was an immigration bus. And I'm not joking, this is just mind-blowing. And while Portland residents have been living in fear from nightly attacks with explosives and fire, their own mayor ordered emergency services to abandon them completely. And people are getting hurt and nobody's coming to help. But what they're hiding, it's going to shock you. These aren't just protesters anymore, guys. This is organized political violence against the American citizens, and the evidence keeps piling up every single night. So tell me in the comments, do you guys think federal troops should have been deployed sooner to stop this madness? Because what happens next changes everything for cities across America. So my name is Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway. I'm also publisher of the Illinois Review and a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And we're a growing channel, and every like, comment, and subscription helps us grow. Even a good thumbs up. Let's get right to it. This is federal troops battling it out with Antifa in Portland as we speak.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back!
So that's what Portland looked like right before President authorized full military force against the Antifa domestic terrorists. And for months, these organized criminals have been launching nightly attacks on the ICE facility with Molotov cocktails, bricks, lasers, and actual explosives. But it's not just federal property that they're destroying. Portland residents have been living under siege. Constant smoke from tear gas and explosions, sleepless nights from the chaos, homes and businesses vandalized, cars are being destroyed. And here's a part that should make every American furious. Emergency services have been ordered not to respond to calls in the protest zones. And people are getting hurt, including journalists, and they have to crawl out of the area to get hurt. And the Ice Cube incident shows how completely out of control this become. How do you mistake a tour bus for ICE? It's insane. And Friday night, Antifa terrorists surrounded his tour van near the ICE facility and torched it because they thought it was a deportation bus. The video went viral, showing them cheering as flames consumed the wrong vehicle. So what does this tell you about the intelligence level and dangerous misinformation these domestic terrorists are putting out? Drop a comment and let me know if you guys think this was a mistake, and proves how reckless these Antifa attacks really are. And Mayor Ted Wheeler and Governor Kate Brown have completely failed their citizens. Stand-down orders have left Portland residents to fend for themselves while terrorists run wild in their neighborhoods. And Trump said America will not stand by while cities become literal war zones. And he's absolutely correct. This deployment of Operation Diligent Valor, good Lord, by the Department of Homeland Security targeting Antifa-aligned domestic terrorism, DHS reports massive increases in assault on ICE agents, and they're making arrests across the country. And Dallas ICE office bomb threats, ambushes at detention centers in Texas, and this is where everything changes. Trump has designated Antifa as a terrorist organization and has promised to hold anyone accountable who's funding or supporting these criminals. And federal troops are already deploying to Chicago and Albuquerque as part of Operation Legend. So do you think federal intervention was necessary to protect Portland residents? This should have happened a while ago. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And the stakes, they couldn't be any much higher. They could not be any higher. And this deployment could set the precedent for how we handle domestic terrorism in our nation. If you got value from this update, please tap subscribe. My opinion is next. But again, also drop a comment, and all those other things to help boost that algorithm a little bit. Let's see. So stupid. Here's what every American needs to understand about Portland. This isn't about protests anymore. This is organized domestic terrorism, and it took federal troops to do what local leaders refused to do, like protect their own citizens. The Ice Cube tour bus incident perfectly shows the dangerous stupidity of these Antifa criminals. They're so blinded by rage and misinformation that they can't even identify their targets correctly, yet they're wielding explosives and fire in American neighborhoods. Portland residents have been abandoned by their own government and terrorized for months. President Trump is stepping in with federal force, and it's not heavy-handed. It's what necessary leadership is when local officials completely fail. And this sets a crucial precedent for our nation. Either we protect like law-abiding citizens from domestic terrorists, or we surrender our cities to organized political violence. The choice is that simple. And Trump made the right call. Patriots across America need to stay vigilant. This is not going to stop anytime soon.
What you all don't understand about the Portland thing is that this is huge. Donald Trump is going to use this and make this as an example with the full force of the National Guard. He wants it on TV, he wants it in the newspapers, he wants it all over social media, and he is going to make an example of whether it's Antifa or any other group that has found out that they are attacking ICE agencies, that he is going to make an example of them. This is going to be truly a fuck around and find out moment. Hundreds are going to be arrested. God forbid people are going to lose their lives. I'm telling you, to the moms and dads, find out if your children are involved and tell them to stay away. Know where your kids are at. Know what your children are doing and find out who they are involved with, because this is manipulation in the highest level. Let me tell you something, that I've been doing this a long time, and I've never seen in my life how many kids have been radicalized over this movement. They truly think by attacking ICE agents is the best thing and the best interest that they are doing for America. To the children that are watching this, and if you are involved, you must stop at once. You've been lied to, the leadership is weak, and all they're asking for every single one of you is to do the dirty work for them. And to the moms and dads in Portland, Oregon, may God be watching over you, may God be watching over your children, and may God be watching over the United States of America.
So I'm back out on the front at the 24/7 Music Festival in Portland, Oregon. Once again, back from my little break and back on the ground here at home. And tonight's been pretty interesting. We got word earlier today, there was a little city council press conference, it seems like, about increased ICE presence. And we definitely saw that here today. They have a Bearcat, which I'll put right here in the middle of the screen for you to see. It's all its glory. It's a militarized vehicle. It's, standard fare in police departments nowadays, unfortunately. So they have the Bearcat that's been out and about, and I think it's back in the garage now. And then they came out for one car to let out and to let in, and there was about 40 ICE officers. 40 DHS police and ICE officer mixed together with SRT and other divisions of DHS. About 40 of them for one car, and then they came out and did the same thing for a car that was going in or coming out. And so there definitely seems to be an increased ICE presence tonight, but that doesn't seem to be dissuading anybody. You have a sizable crowd tonight. A lot of press is here. A lot of local news stations are here. I've heard that Fox 12, K12 is here. There looks to be another one. Maybe that's Cat 2 or something like that. I don't know. There are some agitators out tonight, and there are a bunch of us out tonight. So we are still here, and we are still going, even with the increased ICE presence in the city, which we'll see what that really means substantively, because honestly, I mean, come on, it's just going to be more officers doing the same stuff, unless they're doing some sort of major escalation, which I don't see happening, at least this evening. So that's the situation on the ground here, and as always, Chinga la migra!
So let me get this straight. Ice Cube's tour bus got firebombed in Portland, Oregon. So you're telling me the left is so stupid they thought the ice on Ice Cube meant ice like immigration customs enforcement? These are the people we're arguing with, guys. I hope they try and do this to someone like Ice-T. Try firebombing Ice-T. See what happens.
The National Guard is coming to Portland. That is what Donald Trump announced this morning on Truth Social, in which he said, at the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I'm directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. In addition to that, he also mentioned that he's authorizing full force if necessary. So what is going on here? Why is Donald Trump making this move? First, we look at the numbers. When it comes to Portland, crime actually has dropped a lot in there, in which we're seeing that the first half of 2025, homicides in Portland fell 51% compared to what it was in 2024 during the same period. When it comes to other crimes, assaults are down 18%, robberies down 10%, AS is 12% year over year over that same period. The big challenge that Portland's dealing with is drug overdoses. Actually, it's a big issue across the United States. Those things remain a challenge, and that is something hard to curb. That takes many, many years. So just based upon crime, there really hasn't been much. Now, there is an ICE detention facility over there in which there has been a lot of protests, so maybe that's why he's doing it. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I'll be sure to keep you updated, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
Good morning and happy day 112. We are out here in Hellhole, Oregon, the war zone, with all the fellow terrorists causing general mayhem in the streets of Portland. When in reality, I want to show you guys. We have a bunch of camera people. We have some media over here. We have some people up at the top, up there, right over there, that are getting cars honk up top. There's some media across the street over there. But everybody's checking out the hellhole. Lots of tourists today checking out the war zone. It's pretty funny how Trump can stir such a frenzy over less than 50 people here every night just peacefully exercising our First Amendment rights, our constitutionally protected First Amendment rights. It's just, oh, Trump, you sad, pathetic little dictator, you. So we're out here doing the same thing, demonstrating the frozen meanies' aggression through peaceful resistance. So we're down here occupying. We're going to be here. Keep stopping by, guys. We love seeing you. Come say hi. Come check out the war zone. You guys will be... It's terrible down here, let me tell you. Definitely a cause for military police and Marines and Federal Guard and National Guard and all that we're troublemakers here in Portland. Just ask my parents. All right. Man, this is fun. I love this.
Hello, I'm Keith Wilson, Portland's mayor. I'm here to share an important update about the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Facility in Southwest Portland. Following a formal investigation into the facility's detention practices, the City of Portland will soon issue a notice of land use violation. Federal records show that ICE violated its land use conditions of approval 25 times in 10 months by detaining people for more than 12 hours or keeping them overnight. I'm here to thank our community for shining a light on these concerns and to thank our staff for conducting a thorough and thoughtful review. I want to be clear about what this means. This is just one step in a formal process. The outcome is not a foregone conclusion, and the federal government will be given an opportunity to respond. However, we must remember This review was triggered by the federal government's breaking promises to our community regarding the detention of human beings. Whatever comes of this process, I hope you will join me in celebrating and supporting Portland's immigrant community and standing in solidarity with all those who've been impacted by the actions of the federal government in recent days. I owe a special thank you to city staff for doing this hard and important work with integrity. Thank you, Portlanders, for your outreach and your advocacy. I'm committed to keeping you updated as we move forward thoughtfully and transparently.
We have some major news right now. Oregon leaders across the state are blasting the Trump administration's decision to send in military troops to Portland and to say that the military can use, quote, full force against citizens in Portland. From the governor to members of Congress, they all say this is not needed and that the Trump administration is just weaponizing the United States military as its own personal police force. Now, if you know anything about history, Posse Comitatus prevents exactly that from happening. That's legislation, that's a bill, that's a law that essentially prevents the United States president from using the military as his personal police force, or rather, having the military conduct law enforcement activities on American soil. Now, there's an exception to that, and that's invoking the Insurrection Act for cases of civil unrest. But there is no civil unrest, at least right now, based on local lawmakers. Portland is not a war-ravaged city. This is a very serious situation, and we can't normalize this. So spread the word, follow.
We're going to wipe them out. They're going to be gone, and they're going to be gone fast. They won't even stand the fight. They will not stay there.
I am one of the people that Trump wants to wipe out. We have been peacefully every night and day for at least the last 100 days or so. Here's me wearing a duck suit. Here's me holding bubbles. And we at one point did do the cha-cha slide. Now, while it is true that Portland does turn into a type of war zone, it is not from us. It is from DHS. So it's not our fault. It's Trump's fault. You know, there's a lot of confusion about why he's saying that Portland is totally wrecked when we can very clearly see that it's not. And the answer is right-wing media influencers selling fake stories. And then Fox News providing a platform. I think generally they're still riding on the coattails of the sensationalism back in like 2016. DHS, Trump's side, uses the right-wing social media influencers to manufacture consent to use increasing violence against us. Despite what Trump may think, the National Guard will not deter us. We will still peacefully, we will still come back. Anyway, love you. Be safe.
This just in from the Oregonian about 5 minutes ago on September 17th, 2025. ICE has broken their detention rules over 25 times, say the city of Portland. And Portland is going to issue ICE a notice of violation tomorrow. So ICE has detained protesters for over 12 hours in their facility over 25 times, which is in violation of their contract with the city, their agreement for land use in the city. So, it's unclear what this is going to mean entirely, but it sets the track, like right this second, but it sets the track for them to lose access to this facility, getting ICE effectively out of Portland, or at least out of this particular facility. This is great news. Don't celebrate too early. We're still figuring out what this is all about and what this means in the long term. Like I said, the articles just came out about 5 minutes ago. But damn, if this isn't good news. And quite the present for everybody after a few days, after 100 days. I think we're at 102 or 103 days at this point. So we are winning, and we are not going anywhere, but ICE maybe. So, everybody, just take a moment to take this in. This is a big moment, and this is very good for us and for everything that we've been fighting for. So, please, thank you everybody who has been out there and who has been fighting the good fight for over 100 days now. And as always, chinga la migra!
We're surrounded by riot cops. And all people are doing is standing on the sidewalk, holding signs and asking drivers to honk their horns. That's why riot cops are here at our camp. That's what's happening, and we're surrounded by riot cops. It makes no sense but an escalation. They want an escalation, and it's working. They're escalating. It's dumb. To be visible is dumb.
So in breaking weird-ass Portland news, Ice Cube's tour bus was just firebombed on the streets of Portland. For why, dude? Like, it's Cube, bruh. God, Oregon is so embarrassing. Now, I have no idea why this hasn't hit bigger news yet, because this seems like the type of thing that's newsworthy. I know that the police definitely aren't going to take this seriously because they literally don't give a fuck about people in Portland. But if Oregon could just act normal for like one day, I would really appreciate it.
When I think about how things are going right now, the phrase overplaying your hand comes to mind. Because with this most recent Portland announcement, we can see what a lot of that blaming the left was for. Donald Trump has not only ordered ICE and the National Guard into Portland, they're encouraging the Department of War to encourage full force. Full military force against U.S. citizens. It's crazy. To me, this speaks to this always being his intention, and to be clear, the intention was to redirect the blame for the alt-right violence happening in the U.S., places like Utah and ICE facilities in Texas, to be able to physically attack the left. This intention can also be seen written in plain English on whitehouse.gov. If you look to the details of that September 25th executive order, it pretty much spells this out. This move seems to be a direct extension of that executive order. So 2 thoughts based on this. If one state's National Guard enters another, and I don't know what full force is supposed to mean, but if those citizens are attacked, does that state have the right to defend itself? I don't know. The last time something like this happened, Americans were arguing over slavery. Second thought, most of the fanatics are actually in ICE. Is there a chance there are some turning point, goose steppers over there too? Absolutely. But if you remember how that went in D.C., it's not exactly a militia full of loyal extremists. And when we talk about full force on U.S. citizens, the issue is going to be those willing to take it to those extremes. It's a reason to prepare, but not a reason to be scared. Make no mistake. These are the moves of a desperate regime. To me, it only makes sense that as Democrats in Congress escalate the release of the files or move towards a government shutdown, it's like the more they do that, the more pressure or outright scarism we see this regime enacting on actual Democratic voters. Portland, by the way, is known to be a very Democratic city. If I was to look at all of this from a bird's eye view, I would say that they want us in a predicament where even if those files reveal the most earth-shattering, country-altering information, the situation at hand will basically make it so it doesn't matter. Do I think that they can achieve this, though? No. That's where hopefully a government shutdown that stops the flow of federal money to enable these moves happens. Because the more ridiculous these misdirection plays get, the more obvious it becomes to more Americans that not only the regime in power, but the system that allowed this regime to take power is a problem. Let's just hope nobody folds on that budget vote, though.
Yep.
I don't know what's most alarming, in addition to the fact that the President of the United States has authorized the use of full force by the U.S. military in an American city. Is it that he announced invading a U.S. city on his own social media platform without even notifying the governor or the mayor beforehand? Or is it that he's illegally invading a city that all reports state is peaceful right now, and the protests that he's squawking about are currently 4 people, one of whom is dressed as a chicken? Or is it that the president has once again been misled by right-wing media saying that Portland is an anarchy and most of the retail stores are closed, and that's a factor he's basing his decisions on? The President of the United States of America is trying to incite violence in U.S. cities. In linking his announcement to Antifa, he is trying to designate anyone who protests against ICE as a terrorist. Keep in mind that one of Portland's top police bureau officials stated that federal officials were instigating and causing some of the ruckus. He is trying to get Portland to revolt so that it can become the city that he says that it is, and he can use the full force of the U.S. military to teach blue cities a lesson.
So you all bombed Ice Cube's tour bus out there in Portland, Oregon? Ice Cube, NWA, Doughboy. At this point, we really just need to label the liberals as a terrorist organization, the same way that they want to label Antifa one, same way that they want to label the cartel one. Never in my life have I ever seen political parties beefing like Bloods and Crips, like GDs and Vice Lords. This is a new brand of liberals, okay? I highly doubt that my 60-plus-year-old mom beefing with Republicans because of how they voted. There was a time in this country where nobody discussed politics. We didn't talk about politics at the dinner table. We didn't talk about politics at barbecues. Nobody really cared as long as you was solid. Nowadays, if you are a conservative, it's highly unlikely that you want to befriend any liberals. Unless you're married to one and they're an old school Democrat. If you're a liberal, 9 times out of 10, you are not going to want to be friends with a conservative unless you're married to one and you're an old school Democrat. Because see, it's y'all that's the problem. It's y'all that's the problem. Then y'all get on the internet and y'all say stupid things like, oh, well, people are so comfortable with being racist because Trump is in office. If these people weren't already racist, it didn't matter whether or not Trump was going to be president or not. If they was racist then, they're going to be racist now. Y'all keep forgetting that out of the presidents that have been in office for the last couple of years, only 2 of them went to a KKK member. As a matter of fact, the head honcho of the KKK, only 2 of them went to his funeral. It wasn't Trump. The fact of the matter is that you guys are the problem. It may have a whole lot to do with the hot sauce that y'all shot in y'all veins, and you literally have become like a puppet on a string, and it's being manipulated by the elites or some mad asshole who is literally sitting behind a switchboard surrounded by thousands of screens. At the end of the day, something is clearly wrong with you guys. And I really feel sorry for you if you have children. Because let me be the first to tell you, your children aren't necessarily going to follow in your political footsteps. How you may react to that is what's even more concerning. How you're reacting to people who aren't even in your household.
I am reporting to you live from America's latest war zone. I'm in the city of Portland, Oregon, which has just been declared the headquarters of domestic terrorism in the United States. I have just ordered a local beverage, which I'm told if I consume will give me the powers of an Antifa super soldier. So I'm going to see what all this is about. That made me transgender. This is delicious. I suddenly love gay people, and I want to be trans. Wow.
I think we could probably all agree that Portland, Oregon has a long history of activism, including major unrest in 2020 during the police brutality and immigration policy demonstrations that they had there. And it looks like they're still continuing their immigration activism today because they've had demonstrations outside of the Portland ICE building for over 100 consecutive days. There's been numerous reports of property damage, clashes with law enforcement, and arrests of Antifa-related or affiliated individuals for rioting and attacking the facility. So on September 26, 2025, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, asked the president if he could direct the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to send all necessary troops to protect the war-ravaged Portland and any of the ICE facilities that are under siege from Antifa. In a post from the president, he said, quote, "At the request of Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, I am directing Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Looks like Portland is about to get a little crazy.
The National Guard is heading to Portland, Oregon after a massive spike in violent crime, especially aimed at federal officers, and after over 100 days of people protesting outside the ICE facility. For 100 days, people have been outside with loud noises, loud music, people protesting in front of this ICE facility. The people in this area, the neighbors, are fed up with it. The city officials are doing nothing to stop it. So the federal government is coming in, and President Trump has said enough is enough. We're sending in the National Guard. President Trump has told the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to provide all necessary troops to protect the war-ravaged Portland as this ICE facility has been under attack by Antifa and other groups. Trump is calling these people professional agitators and saying that these people are getting paid. J.D. Vance said, "It's time We as a government look after the American people. Stop looking after protesters. Stop protecting the protesters who are destroying cities all over America. President Trump is stepping in. He said, we're done. He's sending in the National Guard to Portland, Oregon. Let me know your thoughts on this.
So if you're just tuning in, let me catch you up with what's all been going on. So there's this rapper named Ice Cube. You know Ice Cube, After Police, NWA Ice Cube, also Cult Classic Friday. He's on some type of tour right now. One of those tour stops is Portland. Portland is home to Antifa. Ice Cube on his tour bus got the words Ice Cube written on it, right? Antifa sees that, they're like, go into a blind rage. It's like a bull seeing red. So they firebomb it, right? Destroy the bus. Trump gets wind of this by his homegirl, Kristi Noem. She's like, yo, you know your man's Ice Cube? Antifa violated. Trump is like, I know these dudes ain't testing my gangster. I know they not. I just designated them as a terrorist organization. And they try to do this to me on the world stage? Bet. He calls Pete Hegseth. He's like, yo, spin that block. And if any of those mofos feeling froggy, boil them. Now, Antifa, I'd appreciate nothing more but the content that's going to give the internet. But, hey, they ain't playing, okay? You guys are like the final bosses of the woke left, right? And it's really early in the administration, and he's looking to squish. He needs something. He needs to fry something big. Do not be the batter. Do not be the batter. That's all I got to.
We have some news right now. Despite Donald Trump claiming that Portland is a war zone where essentially ICE agents are being attacked and ICE is under fire, could not be further from the truth. Senator Ron Wyden from Oregon just posted a video showing right outside ICE facilities in Portland, Oregon, and it's completely peaceful. Now, I want you to take a look. And Ron Wyden says to Donald Trump, essentially, get the hell out of our city. This was taken today outside of the ICE facility in Portland, Oregon. It's a beautiful day. And as you can see, it's relatively quiet. There's almost no one outside of the facilities right now. This is not a war zone like Donald Trump describes. Just check it out. And I think this is important for people to note because Donald Trump seems to be manufacturing a crisis in Portland as an excuse to use the United States military against American civilians. And more people need to be talking about that. Spread the word, subscribe to my Substack at the link in my bio to support my work. Follow along for more.
Hey, what's up, my good people? It's your lovely host, Beryl. We are at 23 subs. Yes, we are at 23 subscribers, and I'm very happy about that. Oh my goodness, you have watched the dramatic video compilation I just told you. It's happening. It's not like it's outdated. It's what is happening right now in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. So you've seen how like the videos are trending on how Trump has actually ordered the military to go there for all those known reasons. Are you safe? If you're in Portland, Oregon, are you safe? Please comment down below and please take care of yourself, your family, your children. We need you. The world still needs you. Please be safe because this is not an easy thing. It's not a joke because I see indeed whatever people are posting, it's like it's taking place already. So take care of yourself. I still need you. Yeah, so let's dive right into exactly what is happening in Portland. So Trump has directed the US troops to go to Portland, okay? And he has authorized them to use military full force if necessary to deal with anyone who is claiming or threatening threats by domestic terrorists, especially groups like Antifa. Yeah. Yeah, like full force. Who knows what full force means? According to my basic knowledge, I believe full force means ram pa pa pam, ram pa pa pam, ram pa pa pam. Mama, mama, mama. He just ordered you to pew, pew. That's my opinion. That's my opinion on exactly what full force is. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think when a president is saying the peaceful Protestants, right, who are against ICE, peacefully protesting, and now they're being told she's gonna pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger, boom. I had to make this video now because it's something that is going on. People need to be aware. People need to know what's happening in Portland. My goodness, it's crazy. And the main purpose of him doing that is he's saying he wants to protect ICE. Yeah, he wants to protect ICE facilities, which he allegedly is saying is under siege. Under siege. He says that. Like, and the videos I've seen and I've shown you, like, who is putting ICE building in under siege? People just bystanders just doing this, unless you say like people like Antifa group, but I don't think they have placed the facility in such unrest. Though I'm not there. So that is why I want you to tell the world. If you're right now live in Portland, tell us what is going on. We are worried. Yeah, so local and state officials are actually strongly rejecting reject the premise, and the governor of Oregon, who is known as Tina Kotek, and the Portland mayor Keith Wilson, he's saying that the city is calm and there's no need for military forces. Those are the leaders on the ground. Those are the leaders on the ground telling us that it's very peaceful. There's no need for military force, Suwana. You see how this is stirring up a lot of drama? You see? Okay. I believe you're saying. Comment down below, subscribe. Okay. So, critics are actually arguing that the move is an abuse of an executive of power and an attempt to escalate conflict rather than resolving the issue. These Protestants have been there for like over 100 days, peacefully protesting against ICE and all that, that DT stands for. Peacefully, mind you, for all those days. Then they're now being sent the military to just like actually bring the sorry, I spoke a bit of Kiswahili because I'm so mad. Because of like they need to bring peace and all that, like maintain peace, and yet the mayor is saying there's no need. It's a peaceful place. Who are you to send the military? Yet the local leaders are saying, not one but two, are saying that it's okay. Even people on the internet taking videos to like satirical videos, like, oh, so this is the country, the place, the state you're saying like has unrest. I'm taking my coffee. Like you can see the video compilation I made on how people are just there, like, so it's happening in Portland. Where am I then? Yeah, it's crazy. So there's actually an uncertainty about what full force means in a practical term. Others are saying it's about this. Others are just saying that it's just maintaining peace and all that. So why do you think Trump ordered the military? Share your thoughts. Let me tell you mine. One, domestic terrorism claims. Those are claims that there is domestic terrorism. He frames that protests or disturbance by Antifa or another left-aligned groups as acts of domestic terror that federal intervention must stop. Yeah, Antifa, I've heard of it, and I know the destruction that is there, but if you see a problem as a leader, why do you bring violence with violence? Why not look for another solution to solve this? Must it have to be with must it? Another reason why we believe Trump is sending the military, the protection of ICE facility. He's actually claiming, like I said, that ICE installations are under attack and need military protection. Like, yeah, he say that it's under siege, and whoever is doing that, where are you? We need to see if you're really putting ICE under siege, because Donald Trump is worried and is sending the military to you. So please stop. We have another one. Political escalation. Like, some analysts see this as a show of force meant to actually appeal to his base, to bring fear and just further crackdowns. If you're in Oregon, Portland, please take care of yourself. Ensure you know where your child is. They're actually monitoring even the internet, what you're saying, if you're plotting on anything else, and they're gonna come for you. They have the access to such information. And I'm afraid, please be careful. This is not the time to, like, just know where your friends are, your family members. Take care of yourself, and if you're protesting, kindly just thank you for being out there, for representing the others, but please do it peacefully, and also take care of yourself during the process. Carry a bottle of water, just put on nice shoes in case of anything. Yeah, just be safe for us. We still need you, okay? And apart from that, let me just say that we are with you. Just take care of yourself. And I just hope that all this will end. And remember, it's FAFO season, right? And they're trying to bring fear into so many people. And many people might be, because if they're stirring up all this anger and increasing the tension and conflict, obviously it's gonna rupture, right? Explode. But what I can say is we need to just be safe. We've clearly seen these people don't care about us. They act as robots, but who's gonna be there for you anyway? Just be safe. If you're doing it in a legal manner, peacefully, and just take care of yourself, okay? Have a fantastic, wonderful day. Mwah. Love you. Subscribe. We're at 23. I told you by the end of October we're gonna be at 1,000 subs. How? Watch me. Bye.